What's up, crowd? What's going on? This is another Friday. Let's be real. So I get a lot of comments on my videos from people who use the word religious or religion. And I think we are misusing the word religion and religious. See, because they watch my video and they hear me say God or Jesus or singing a Christian song, and they automatically think that I am religious. And I don't blame them. I mean, they probably just don't know what it actually is to be religious. Because right away after I say God or Jesus, they equate that to religious or religion. And my goal today is to explain to you guys something very important. Listen to me now. Come on, please look right here. What I want to express to you guys is that religiosity sucks. First, we must define what religious is. Religious is relating to or believing in a religion. Religiosity is excessive devotion to a religion. See, religious is a thing. It's something that you do. It's a list of do's and don'ts. It's a list of laws that we have created to not be crazy. But really, we're all really crazy. Imagine being religious with your friends or your spouse. I mean, you show up to the date on time, you get them birthday gifts because that's just what friends do. You make sure to like their status on Facebook because if you don't, what's going on, man? We make sure to do all that because that's what we are expected to do as friends, as spouses. But doesn't mean we have a good relationship with those people. I recently read a book. It's called Galatians. You can find it in the Bible. And it's basically a letter that Paul wrote to a church filled with religious people. And these religious people, all they do is emphasize what others aren't doing. They pretty much say, hey, to be a Christian, man, you must do this, you must do that. They were pretty much imposing all these laws on these people, these new believers that came into the church. And Paul is saying, it's not about the law, it's not about religion, it's about a person, it's about a relationship. One of my friends from back when I used to go to school, he wrote a blog online, and man, it really hurt me. Because he was talking about the church and how pretty much it sucked the life out of him. He was saying how everything that he did was because other people imposed it on him. He was expected to do a certain thing, and you can't do this and you can't do that. Any talents or abilities that he has must be used in a certain way. Like he's in some sort of box that the church has created so that everyone can be molded into the same beautiful little Christian. And I think that's what happens many times, and that's why so many people are turned off by Christianity and the church, because they come in and they love the message, they hear the gospel, they know what Jesus is about, but then all of a sudden when they meet the church, they're like, I like the Jesus guy, I just don't like his followers. See, religion says you must go to church every weekend, you must read the Bible every day, you must pray and fast, you cannot curse, you cannot do drugs, you cannot partay. You can't do any of this if you're a Christian. So let's work on changing those things, because if you don't do them, you are not good enough of a Christian. And I think that's where people are really misinformed when it comes to religion. See, every other religion I know is about what you have to do. What you have to do to be saved, to reach nirvana, to whatever it says in that religion. But see, that's being robotic. That's being forced and obligated to do something. See, the thing about relationships is that the things that you do for that person, you do it out of love. You do it because you want to be more intimate with them. And if I were to call myself religious, it would mean that I am going to church, that I talk about God, that I do all of these things just because I have to, or it's my obligation as a Christian. See, this book that I read, Galatians, it says that we have freedom. When we enter a relationship with Jesus, we have freedom. Now he makes it clear, he says, don't go out and use this freedom to go out and do wrong things and mess up and cause trouble. But he says, use this freedom to serve others. Use this freedom to love other people around you. See, God is not impressed with how much you pray. He's not impressed with how many days you can fast. He's not impressed with how many services you go to every week. He's not. What he wants is to see fruit in your life. And in Galatians 5:22 and 23, there's a list of these fruits, these characteristics that God develops in us when we let him take control. And that list is love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. And if you ask me, I think we need more of that in the world. I don't know, maybe you've had a bad experience in the church. Maybe you're just turned off by it because of the people that have completely corrupted the idea of what it means to be the church. Maybe you don't know what it means to be in a relationship with Jesus, a God who you cannot see. Maybe you grew up in the church, but after seeing what the church actually looks like, you leave and never return. I don't know what your situation is, but I just want to tell everyone out there, you know, we seek so many different things in life. We seek after everything. And most of the time we seek these things because we want to be filled. But many times when we think of religion, we automatically shut it off. I encourage you not to seek religion, but to seek a relationship with your Creator. A relationship that will change you for the best. And for those who left the church, don't give up on it because of other people. Don't give up on it because you've had bad experiences all of your life. God chose the church for a reason. It's made up of messed up people like you, like me. So I think once we begin to trust the God of this church, we begin to see the church in a different light. And let's be real, there are churches that are doing an awesome job. They are doing what God has called them to do. I don't know, I don't want to be considered a religious person. That's not what defines me. What defines me is not the things that I do. What defines me is the person that I follow. That happens to be Jesus Christ. So no, I'm not religious because religiosity sucks. I'm a son, a friend, and a brother. I'm a Christian.